Kevin Downes is an actor, producer, and director who appeared in films such as Courageous and Mom's Night Out.
And so I Still Believe is the first film from Kingdom Studios. And I tell you what, it couldn't have gone better, to be honest.
He also produced the hit film I Can Only Imagine, as well as the new movie I Still Believe, the story of Christian music artist Jeremy Camp. Please welcome Kevin Downes.
Kevin, hi, so great to have you.
Yeah, good to be here.
So we're really excited about this movie coming out. It's nice to have you back in the house, by the way, and a lot has been going on in your studio and in your life since the last time you were here. How are things going?
Things are going great. We have a new film. It's out in theaters March 13th. It's called I Still Believe. It's the story, true story of Christian singer Jeremy Camp and the trial he went through at a young age with his wife, Melissa, who ended up dying of cancer, but it launched his music ministry, and I grew up loving his music, and so it's a story of inspiration, hope, and a visual picture of God's sacrificial love for us.
You know, it's so interesting because you would think, like in a Christian film, you wouldn't think of someone's wife dying as being a hopeful film. But the story really is that, and it really is an amazing, very sad in some parts, but also very amazing story, isn't it?
Yeah, I think God has a way of using struggle and pain and trial in order to lift up his people. And so Melissa had this one quote in real life, which is actually a centerpiece of the story. If one person can be impacted by the struggle that I go through, then it was all worth it.
You know, what drew you to this story in particular? I mean, there's something about it. I mean, you had to have heard about it or decided, you know, this could be a great movie. How did that happen?
Yeah, my wife, I've been married 22 years. We were at a concert actually here in Orange County of Jeremy Camp, and he will often tell his story from the stage, and she kind of nudged me and she goes, make a great movie one day. And so as a good husband, it took me 8 years, but here we are.
Yeah, that's great. Is there any, for you as a believer, I mean, you know, your faith is important, but you're also an artist. Is there anything, like a personal part of your life or story that you feel like connects with this movie that you're making, maybe your testimony or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing Christian films for about 25 years. This is all I've known, and God really put it on my heart. And so my passion is to be able to make films that people will be inspired by, their spirit will be uplifted, and they will understand that there's a God who loves them, that will wrap their arms around them, and that there's a Jesus that has died on the cross so that we can have salvation and that we can be with him forever.
And the movie came out on March 13th. How many theaters is it in?
Yeah, it's actually in twice the theaters that our last film, I Can Only Imagine, was in. So it's in almost 3,000 theaters, including IMAX, which is incredible.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. People are really being touched by this film, aren't they?
People are really being touched. I mean, especially in today's culture and climate, we really want a visual example of what God's unconditional love is for us, and that we have this unification and this hope and this inspiration, and the story certainly tells that.
It had to be hard for Jeremy Camp and his family to see this film, right? Have they seen it? I mean, I'm sure they have.
Yeah, they have seen it. And so this is the third time we've told a biopic based on a true story. And so Andy Irwin, the director, and I went to Jeremy's house. Of course, he was on set every day. But we showed the film for the first time to him and his wife, Adie, and their children. And it was really a beautiful experience. They all cried, and the lights came up, and they said, well, that was a great film. And so that's our goal, is for him and whoever we tell the story about, Bart Millard and I Can Only Imagine, that they would be completely honored in the process of us telling their story.
Well, I know a lot of us in the church are going to go see it. If you're watching at home, go see this movie. I Still Believe. It's awesome. People are loving it. And Kevin Downes, thank you so much for being with us today. We're really excited to see this movie, where it goes and how it takes off.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.